Good evening and welcome to the Radical Race Series. Round 6 takes us to the beloved Brands Hatch circuit in Kent, the United Kingdom. I am Tom Kent in the commentary position. Alongside me is Jim Cunningham, who will take us through the action during the course of not just one, but 2 races in this brilliant championship involving the SR8s and SR10s. We're in the closing minutes of qualifying, but before we head to track side, let's have a look at these scores on the doors as we head towards the business end of the season. In the SR8s, it's the 2 shootsters who are dominating, with Alex leading Christian 397 playing 354. That's Rob Goodwood in 3rd place on 342. That's Stefan Mellis in 4th on 291 and Marcus Lang in 5th on 269. Steve Webb in 6th position on 203. Then it's Tobias Treacle in 7th place on 192. Graham Matthews in 8th position on 142 points. It's Jamie Bird, Chris Sutis, Javed Brown and Paul LeMay rounding out those who have scored points in that respective class. In the SR10s, Simon Edwards is at the top, 32 clear, or 28 clear, over Heinz Braun. Bruno Vitorino in 3rd place on 330 points, 16 points further away. Phil Glover in 4th, having a good season so far on 301. We've got George Gonzaga in 5th on 277. Mehmet Akis in 6th on 265. And we've got Christoph Lipp, Patricio Gomez is silver, Fabio Regis and James Barry run out the top 10. Then we've got the likes of Sebastian Lipp, Nino Rodriguez, Kevin Harwood, Sully Reitinen, Giuseppe Regis, Henry Sweetlake, Taras Vosberg, Seth Brown, Robert Williams, and James Frunznick. As far as the season is concerned, looking at the schedule for the championship, tonight we're at Brands Hatch. We've already been to Sebring, Mexico City, Daytona, Long Beach, and Roscommon. Tonight is at Brands Hatch. Then we go to Charlotte Motorsport Speedway on the Rover layout. Austin, Texas on the 19th of Feb. Then it's Mount Panorama Bathurst. And the combined version of Monza, presumably the historic version, which will have the 60-minute endurance event to wrap up the championship. Let's have a word with Jim about what he expects to see tonight here at Brands Hatch. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. It's really good to have you here, considering we thought you were going to roll in here late because of another broadcast, folks. He literally just got off a broadcast and jumped right in at the very last second. So much you'll enjoy his tones much better than mine, I'm sure. No, it's good. It's good to be here, man. Brands Hatch, not a track I'm super familiar with. Obviously, I am to some degree, but I find the place a little tough to get around. I don't have a ton of experience here, but it's a classic European circuit, obviously, and I think it's going to have some good racing tonight with these radicals, and we got a pretty large field here tonight too.
Absolutely. So we've got around about 5.5 minutes remaining. So let's have a look at see who is doing well so far in this qualifying session. In case you're wondering how many drivers we've got turned up tonight, it's 20 again. So we had 20 last week at Roscommon, and we had 20 at Sebring. Long Beach. That was what I was meant to say. By the way, it's a good field again, Jim, with a mixture of SR8s and SR10s. SR8s, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 in the SR8s and 9 in the SR10s.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because the point standings, if you go deep into the point standings, there's a lot more SR10s that have competed this season than SR8 drivers. I guess the SR8 drivers are just, I don't want to say more loyal, but, they have a tendency to show up every week a little more, I guess.
Of course, Brands Hatch is a lovely circuit around here. Of course, the former home of the British Grand Prix, the last of which came in 1986. Formula 1 has not been back here since then. But nevertheless, a lot of other championships have enjoyed their racing around here, particularly British touring cars. This has been the traditional season finale for many years, has Brands Hatch on its GP course. They used the Indy layout earlier in the year. It used to host the season opener as well many years back, but now that has obviously changed to Donington. But are there any corners around here, Jim, that sort of catch your eye the most?
Well, I don't know a lot of the corner names. Well, I don't know the corner names here. The one that's always got me is the where you crest over the hill and you have the right-hander coming down off the hill there. That one seems to, in most of the races that I broadcast from here, seems to throw people off, kind of run them off the track a little bit. We'll stick with Marcus here, and when he gets to that point, I'll know because I don't know the corner names here at all. I'm horrible.
Well, this is Sterling Corner, of which Marcus Lang is going through. The man you can see in the picture in the blue and green livery. One of the drivers in the SR8s competing. The man at the top of the timing pages is the home hero, James Barry, with a 1 minute 17.7, ran about 600ths clear over his nearest challenger, Alex Schuster.
This turn here is the one I was talking about. I guess it's turn 1.
Paddock Hill Bend. Yeah, this is the Paddock Hill Bend, which...
It seems to run everybody off the course there, just like it did him just now. I really need to get some laps in around here. I just, for whatever reason, I haven't crossed paths with Brands Hatch that much.
Either way, that is the field just getting their final laps in. We are now looking at Simon Edwards, who had a rocky time of it at Rudskogen. Finished at the back in the first race and came through, finished nicely in 5th place, but he has lost ground in the title battle to Alex Schuster, with being 5 rounds still to go, so there's still time for him to catch up. There are the drop scores to consider as well. Now, in case you're wondering how the drop scores work, it's essentially I think it's the worst 2 rounds that get dropped for each driver. So looking at the points system for the season, as far as the drivers, you get a point for pole position, point for fast start in both sprint and feature, a point for most laps led in any of the races. You get a point also for finishing with no incidents in the race. The drivers' 3 lowest scores are dropped. So out of the rounds we have got this season, and we've got 10 rounds, so I don't know if it still will be 3 or whether it'll be 2 for the season, but there are drop rounds still involved in the Radical Race Series, and we'll just have to see further down the line who will need what. But either way, Jim, I just want to get on with racing here and come away with the most amount of points possible.
Yeah, so I've been sitting here while you were going over the drop rounds, watching this battle here for the pole. You got Alexander Schuster has taken it back from Barry. They've swapped spots about 2 or 3 times here, and they're both on. They're going to get one more in here before it's over. So this Schuster, he pitted. I guess he wasn't on a pole run there. I was really thinking he was going to take it back again. So it looks like
he had to slow down, I think, Jim.
Oh yeah, sure did. Look at that.
He might have had to slow down, or whether he just felt like there was no point continuing. And we are looking at James Barry now, going over the line. Is this an improvement from before?
Yeah, just by one 1/1000th, but it is an improvement.
On a circuit like this one, where there's not too many turns, I think anything that you gain is all the worthwhile. I think Simon Edwards has gone up the order, Marcus Lang, actually. Marcus Lang has leapt up into 3rd position in his SR8. That's a great effort, actually, from Marcus. Simon Edwards has crossed over the line, finishing his qualifying session in 5th position. We've only got one driver who's not set a time in this, and that's Rob Williams, who'll be starting at the back for the sprint race. That is the race of which the qualifying times determine. And so we transition from qualifying to the race now. Here is your grid. And it is James Barry on pole position with Alex Schuster alongside. On row 2, we've got Marcus Lang and Christian Schuster, and it is Simon Edwards and Tobias Treacle on the 3rd row, both of which in the SR10s. Mike Bousson and Chris Soutis are on row number 4, with Heinz Braun and Bruno Fitzerino rounding out the top 10. Heading to the second half of the grid, we've got Steve Webb and Andreas Lehnen on the 6th row. We've got Phil Glover and Rob Woodward on row number 7. Patricia Gomez and Kevin Harwood on row 8. And then we've got Stefan Mellis and Towers Vosberg on row 9. The final row of the grid is made up of Gray Matthews and Rob Williams.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be some good racing around here. Everything I've mostly done from here has been really fun to watch. So it'll be, I think these guys are going to put on some quality racing. You know it's a fast field when Simon Edwards qualified 5th.
Yeah. But, we're just waiting on one more driver to get onto the grid. That is Tobias Trickle. They've got a maximum of 2 minutes to get on that. If they don't, then they'll have to start from the pit lane, which is not the ideal scenario, given it's not the best circuit to get overtakes done, in my opinion, with these machines. But we shall see when they go out. James Berry, can he continue his form from what he produced in the round at Rudskogen? We'll wait and see. Alexander Schutzer will want to just make sure he gets off the line absolutely fine. Marcus Lang and Christian Schutzer, he will be determined to power their way through. It'll be a good battle once again between the Schutzers. As the lights come on now, lights on.
Oops,
lights off, it's go. And Marcus Lang getting off really, really poorly though. So much wheel spin. But Alex Schutzer is to the outside of James Barry. But it's Barry who has the inside line for Paddy Kilburn, and he's gone back into the lead again. Schutzer in second place. Alex, that is, ahead of Christian. Simon Owen's up 1 position. Mike Buson's up 2. Heinz Braun's up from 9th to 6th. But the biggest loser from that, Jim, is Marcus Lang, who's gone down to 3rd to 7th.
He has, but the biggest loser is going to end up being Bruno Vitorino. He jumped the start there. He rolled on the start before the green light came on, and so he's got a black flag. So he's going to end up. I'm not sure if that's a drive-through or if it's going to be a stop and go. But either way, that's going to put him, I would think, last, short of anybody that maybe has an accident.
Barry leads. Schutzer is running about a second behind him already. But Barry, after that performance in qualifying, is showing why he loves this track so much, and he knows every bit way round here. Leenan's gone down the order though. It looks like there's been some drivers just bunching up behind there. I don't know if there's been a driver going off through the right-hander of Dingledell, but that's the nature of this course in terms of the flow around here. But it is Barry who ends the first lap of this sprint race in the lead, with the Schutzers in 2nd and 3rd. Yeah,
and Bruno came in to serve his penalty, so we'll see what that ultimately does for him there. James Berry's got a 2.5 lead already. That is crazy. And these cars are so evenly matched,
Indeed. Shall we have a look at the start, Jim, and just see what exactly had been going on? Because Marcus Lang got bobbed down. It looked like he didn't exactly have the right amount of revs.
No, I think he had it revved up way too high. When he dumped that clutch, it just spun the tires so bad.
So Marcus Lang, the man in 3rd place on the grid on the right-hand side, that's the one to look out for. That's Bruno Vitorino, actually, who's just crept forward before the lights had gone out.
Yep, we're in slow motion.
So as soon as it's the first phase of the launch, that's what let him down.
Yep, and they just flew by him after that. Yeah, let's. I want to see there was an incident here. I'm not sure if. Let's see. This is Andros Lean here. Fix the speed. Oh,
that's Westfield. She's spun round at least he stayed out of everyone's way.
Yes.
Before we join him. Bruno Vitorino, after his penalty, is down in 19th. Tobias Trickle has rejoined the race. He's still on the lead lap, but he's basically fighting for pride and trying to...
Oh, so spin right there. No, he didn't spin. Oh, my gosh.
That's Heinz Brown. Yeah, he got tapped by Mike Buson.
Was it, or was it Buson that... I thought it was Buson that got loose. We'll have to go back.
No, it was... No, I'm sure Braun was ahead of Buson at that particular corner. We may have another look at it. But I'm sure Braun was ahead. He was the one that nearly went round the right-hander of Druids. But he had to back out of it. And Marcus Lang is doing his utmost to get back into the action. Here we go then. This is at Druids. Yeah, it's Braun that gets too close to begin with, and Buson couldn't really do anything about that. So that's a complete racing incident.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought we had a crash there, though, because the camera cut away right as his back end kicked out. I thought he was going around. He did a good job saving that.
Now, the top 10 finishers in this are reversed for race number 2. The man sitting in 10th place is Rob Woodward, who I think finished where it finished in that exact position in the sprint race last week in Rudskogen. But of course, he wouldn't be able to hold on to the win by the end of it. That's either way. Heinz Braun is now down to P7 because Marcus Lang and Mike Bousson are both ahead of him. There is Chris Soutis, who's on the tail of Steve Webb, who's made up positions so far in this gym.
You probably don't recognize that livery on his car, do you?
Or Soutis's?
Yeah.
Probably don't, no.
It's from a movie called Smokey and the Bandit. Have you heard of that movie?
That name of the film does ring a bell to me, actually.
So it was basically a car chase across America kind of film. And the main character drove a black Pontiac Trans Am with that gold bird on the hood, and he made that car famous, you know, and its popularity soared because of that movie. And that's the livery he's running to look like that, the Trans Am from that movie.
Well, there is the field coming through. Sterling heading towards the right-hander now of Clearways. And this section, or the last part of Clearways, some people call it the Jim Clark curve, but it's more commonly known as Clearways. Steve Webb has Chris Soutis on his tail, going defensive there. Steve having one of his best races in this series. I mean, to be fair,
for a man, season.
He is having a good season, but what I will say is this is the kind of circuit he thrives on. Any circuit in the UK, really, for Steve Webb, it's like his anchor, if that makes sense. It's like his strong point around.
Well, it's probably because he stood in almost every corner at these tracks, being a marshal, you know, for as long as he has. He knows these local circuits like the back of his hand, although he travels all over the world now to marshal. But, you know, I'm sure these UK circuits he's got so much time at these places, you know.
So just for your information, the BOP today at Brands Hatch in the Radical Race Series, the SR8s are running an extra 60 kilograms compared to the SR10s.
That's quite a bit.
That is a lot, thinking of it.
I mean, they seem to be pretty evenly matched. If you look down the timing and scoring, they're quite evenly balanced, really.
Does it give an advantage in a way, though, when you think of it, Jim? Because they're not so quick down the straights anyway, even without the extra weight. It's the corners where they find the most time at.
Right, and I mean, if you look at the overall, you know, thing, apparently you would think that the horsepower would be a big advantage for the 10s, but it apparently is not. The cornering for the SR8s apparently is a bigger advantage because typically they have to penalize the SR8s more than they do the 10s. You know, so I guess handling means more than that extra little bit of horsepower, especially on tracks where you're not wide open through most of the track, you know.
And like you said, the straights aren't even that long, so it's not like the SR10s are going to have an enormous advantage. But irrespective of that, James Berry has a good feeling in terms of his SR10. He's leading the way by nearly 3.5 seconds over Alex Schutzker. And Christian Schutzker's got Simon Edwards, so close enough on his tail, but I think the Schutzkers look rather comfortable, I would say, in second and third, thinking the long run. And Alex, who's having a strong season in terms of the championship battle between him and Simon Edwards, I think as long as he finishes ahead of him in the remaining races this season, that should be the championship wrapped up for him.
Yeah, it would appear that way, which, you know, is, I have to say, a bit of a shock to me. You know, I guess we're so used to seeing Simon Edwards, you know, win these things that I guess he just had it in my head that he was going to win the championship, you know, and for him not to be leading is well, it's entertaining, you know, just the fact that somebody else is up there.
Yeah, I think Steve Webb Steve Webb has hit trouble, Jim. He's lost 3 positions on this lap.
Yeah, no,
and we're going to see why. This is on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. It's a bad error that from Steve Webb.
Oh no!
The rear tyres were cooked.
Yeah, that's Yeah, that's bad. At least nobody else got involved with him. I was worried that somebody else may have gotten involved, because Graham Matthew had an incident at a similar time, so I thought they might have been involved together. But
is that Bruno Fitzgerald to his right there? He just didn't give it. He didn't want to give it up, did he?
Yeah, well, that didn't work. That didn't go very well. Oh, boy, apparently all these Marshall cars are spinning and then spinning again. Yeah, I don't know.
That was it for third time.
I want to take one more look at that from a different angle. So he just drove it in there, and did he? Who was that behind him? I think that they might have clipped him there.
It wasn't Rob Williams, was it?
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you.
I think it was, yeah, because he was the next car behind Bruno Fitzgerald.
Yeah, it was Williams.
So that's Williams up into 15th position. He's been up a few positions since the start of this one. Bruno Fitzgerald, after the penalty he had to serve for jumping the start, is about to go past Terence Vosberg, who seems to have slowed there. I don't know how on earth he's managed to lose all that time, but that was the most generous overtake that Bruno Fitzgerald could have been given all evening.
That was pretty generous, wasn't it? I don't know. It's almost like Vosberg let him go there. I don't think there was that disparity in speed, obviously.
We see Mike Boost on. He's on the tail of Edwards. Yeah,
big time.
He's gaining on him.
He really is. Yeah, he's putting a lot of pressure on him. Again, Mike's fast, but a bit surprising, I'd have to say.
We're going up the hill now, both Edwards and Bousson. And they're coming down the straightaway, otherwise known as Pilgrim's Drop. And this right-hander is Hawthorne's, named after the first ever British Formula 1 world champion, Mike Hawthorne, who soon after he won the championship, we sadly lost him, which was a big shame. But of course, this circuit that's been around for a long time, one of its corners is named in his honour. And now we look at Bousson. It's just, you can see, as soon as they get off the corner, Edwards is able to pull away. But it's the corners is where Bousson, you can tell he's got a good handle on it. But Edwards knows this machine from the back of his own hand. So he extracts more than what that car is able to do raw pace-wise.
Yes, well, the simple fact is he knows both of these cars so very well. He's a big part of setting the balance up for these two cars for this series. And in the conversations that I've had with him, I think he feels like he's typically faster in the SR8 than he is in the 10. But I guess he's, just drives a 10 that, so much more. But he always seems to really extract more speed from the SR8s. He has to be careful that he doesn't over penalize the SR8s, because it ultimately the other people can't drive them at the same speed that he can.
Steve Webber's had his second incident of the race, and that's enough for him to go back into the pit lane. We're going to see why as James Barry's about to start the final lap of the race. Here is Steve Webber. This is over at Druids. He just gave up.
Parked it, yeah.
I don't know whether he had a problem beforehand, actually. Let's have a look at his steering wheel, Jim. I wonder.
Let's see. Hold on, I can do that.
Yeah. See if there's something that already had gone for him before he even got there. Let's see.
It looks pretty straight, really.
I don't know, because I didn't turn. The car wouldn't turn.
Yeah, he must have already had it tore up there. All right, let's jump up here with our leader, see where he's at. These laps go by fast around here.
Yeah, 3 seconds in the lead. Yeah, he's on his way to victory. No problem for James Barry. Another win to put himself with kind of half a chance of in the SR10s, given all the drop scores are still to be applied at the end of the season. The man sitting in 10th place and potentially on reverse grid pole is Phil Glover. So should he make no more mistakes, he'll remain there. Bruno Vitorino, meanwhile, has got by Kevin Harwood for P11. So he's now one position away from reverse grid pole, but he's no doubt going to run out of time to do anything about Glover. But James Barry is coming through for the last time to take the first win of the evening. Dominant from start to finish, no mistakes whatsoever. And I think he's not been involved in any incidents. He's got the fastest lap and the pole position. So maximum points so far tonight for James Barry. Out of clearways for the last time, onto the Brabham Straight to win here at Brands Hatch. The sprint race win goes to James Barry, with Alex and Christian Schuster in second and third places. Simon Edwards holds off Mike Boosson to the end. And it's Heisbronn 5 seconds further back in 6th place ahead of Marcus Lang. He'll be disappointed with that, but at least he'll start 4th on the grid. Chris Sutis 8th, Rob Woodward in 9th, and Phil Glover will hold on to 10th position and on reverse grid pole. Then we've got Bruno Vitorino 11th, with Taras Vosberg being chased by Kevin Harwood. And Rob Williams will be 14th after starting at the back. And then we've got the German of Andreas Lehnen in 15th place, and then Stefan Mills will be the last driver to finish. It looks like Patricio Silva and Tobias Treacle had stopped on the last lap there. I don't know what's been going on involving them, unless they had gone over the line a lap down. But either way...
I think, well, let's see. Did they just stop, or did they have an incident?
Well,
it looks like a stop to me.
Yeah, it looks like they've just stopped, yep. So, unless they've run out of fuel or something, I don't know. But
well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so we got to warm up here. Let's take a look at the results from the first race.
And it is James Barry who wins, with Alexander Schutzke in second place. It's Christian Schutzke, his brother, in third. Simon Edwards in fourth, Mike Boos on fifth, Heinz Braun sixth, and it's Marcus Lang, Chris Sutis, Rob Woodward, and Phil Glover running out the top 10. Glover will be on reverse grid pole ahead of Woodward. In 11th place, we've got Bruno Vitorino, who had to come in at the end of lap 1 to serve his drive-through. Taras Vosberg in 12th, Kevin Harwood 13th, Rob Williams 14th, and it's Andreas Lehnen. Stefan Millis, Patricio Gomez in silver, Graham Matthews, Tobias Treacle, and Steve Webb didn't make it to the end.
Yeah, that was a pretty good race. I mean, it was just Barry got away from him there, and it kind of throws me back to my original days when I started broadcasting. One of the first leagues I broadcasted was a SR10 league, and this one, I believe, actually, it was this particular league, and he was always so fast, like. It was him or Simon Edwards every single week winning, and it's been a while since I've seen him running up front like that. It was just good to see, kind of nostalgic, I guess, to see James Barry's car up there in the lead. Because, like I said, that was kind of my introduction, to radical racing.
And that win for James Barry. I'm sure we'll move him up the order in the standings. He's only done 3 rounds this season. Prior to this evening, or at least 3 rounds anyway, but that will help him leap up the order. He's not going to win the championship, but I'm confident he'll finish in the top 10 overall, and maybe even top 5 in the class that he's in, and his season on a high.
Oh, well, there was a lot of smoke there.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there? But the warm-up session is coming to an end, and we should start to see the cars gridding up for the second and final race of tonight. The man who will be starting on reverse grid pole, that name is Phil Glover. He has a chance to lead off the line, with Rob Woodward alongside in second place, and it's Chris Sutis in third position. And behind Sutis will be Marcus Lang. On row 3, we have got Heinz Braun and Mike Boosson, and then it is Simon Edwards and Christian Schutzke on the 4th row of the grid. Alex Schutzke and the race winner of the first event of tonight, James Barry, are next. Bruno Vitorino 11th place ahead of Taras Vosberg, Kevin Harwood and Rob Williams on row number 7 ahead of Andreas Lehnen and Stefan Millis. Patricio Gomez and Graham Matthews on row 9. At the back, we've got Tobias Treacle and Steve Webb, who will be looking to make up for lost ground. Heinz Braun is on the grid, everyone is on the grid, and so we are good to go for the feature race here at Brands Hatch, and he will come away with the spoils here. Phil Glover on reverse grid pole ahead of Rob Woodward. The lights are on now. Lights off, it's go, and a good getaway from Phil Glover, but there seems to be a little bit of wheel spin from Woodward to begin with, but it's still not enough to stop him from going by Glover at turn number 1 at Paddock Hill Bend. That is, we've just seen Simon Edwards drift around through that, and that's not good news for his race. As much as there are 19 laps of action here, these laps are going to flow by here. So it's Woodward who leads. Glover second, Sutis, Lang, Braun, Buson, the two shootskers of Christian and Alex, James Barry and Bruno Vitorino running out the top 10. But the biggest loser, without a doubt, is Simon Edwards in 15th.
Yeah, he took a big loss there. He's starting to move back up, but that's a lot of cars to pass.
Down Pilgrim's Drop they come, and through Hawthorns is Woodward continuing to head out in front ahead of Glover, who's making the most of the opportunity. I know he's let Woodward go by at the start, but he'll be very happy with his first lap and not getting caught up in any first lap gremlins. Edwards has made his way back through into 14th position. Webb is up 4 positions from the back, so he's had an impressive start to this one, hoping for a better end to what he had in race number 1. But so far so good. No major dramas from anyone, Jim, apart from Edwards.
No, it's a pretty solid start across the board here. My goodness.
That's Barry to the outside of Christian Schutzer for Alex Schutzer, sorry, for 8th position. Great overtake there from Barry, who now is thinking about a move on Buson and Christian Schutzer. Buson to the outside. He's going to run out of road, and he's going to allow Barry to go on through. A car has spun at the back.
Yeah.
Stefan Mellis has spun right at Druid, so that's him down at the back. And you can see Taras Vosberg and Buson going toe-to-toe. That's Bruno Vitorino to the left, and the pair of them. Is Bruno Vitorino going to go on through? He's got past Buson, not quite so on Vosberg, but that was 3 wide.
Oh yeah,
down that small straight before they got to Surtees.
That was so exciting right there. Wow.
Leaving each other respect, as though they should. That was great racing between the lot of them.
Yeah.
Marcus Lang just ahead of James Barry for 5th place. Barry's made up another position at the expense of Christian Schutzer on this second lap. But it is Woodward still leads. Go on, Jim.
No, look at this, man. I mean, we literally have from 1st to 12th in a solid,
Barry thought about it.
Solid line here.
Barry thought about it with Marcus Lang before they came out of clearways. And there's a pass from Heinz Braun on Phil Glover heading towards Pedicle Bend for the 3rd time. Braun goes past Glover for 3rd place. The door is open as well for Chris Sutis to go on through. Is he past him by the time he gets to Druids? The answer to that question is yes. He's got by, and now it is Marcus Lang who's next to pounce on Glover, who is really beginning to struggle here as we see Barry go through on Schutzer again. They're still at it, these two.
Oh yeah, this is good stuff right here, man. These guys are 3 of the fast. Oh, Phil, hang on to it, buddy.
Did he come together with? Was it with Marcus Lang he came together with?
Did he actually? I didn't think they touched. I think he lost it on his own.
We'll see soon enough. That is Bruno Vitorino and Taras Vosberg running now in 8th and 9th position. Vitorino coming through the field nicely. After a dreadful start to tonight, he made a good recovery drive to P11. Now he's up there in 8th position. Can he go any higher than where he is at?
I don't know. He's looking pretty strong in this race. He's made a couple of aggressive passes. Looking pretty impressive so far. Whoa! That was Heinz Braun.
It was over at Sterling's. Heinz Braun and spun into the gravel chat. That's disaster. The man running in 2nd place is off in the gravel chat.
Oh my goodness. This is, man, I tell you what, they are absolutely hammering on each other right here. Normally by this point in the race, they'd be so separated, we'd have 3 or 4 little packs here, and it's just like one solid line almost.
Barry now up in 4th place. He's got Marcus Lang ahead of him. Edwards has made his way back into 8th position. He's ahead of Taras Vosberg. So this is another good recovery drive from Edwards. But he's now just 2 positions behind Alex Schutzer, the man with which he's fighting with in the championship. So he needs to still make inroads to reduce the deficit if he's to remain in the hunt. There's a car going wide there. That must be... Couldn't tell from the angle there at Surtees. I thought it was a white car that went so far out wide. I think it might have been Alex Schutzer or whoever it was. Bruno Vitorino, meanwhile, is behind Alex Schutzer. I think it might have been Rob Woodward. He's at the head of the queue, actually. He's the man in the lead. So that is Chris Sutis, who is running in the livery. That was Marcus Lang going wide. Yep, absolutely right, Jim, at Westfield.
Okay, yeah. But it's so hard with the way these turns cut around and the trees get in your way for the camera switches, and sometimes you miss that stuff. Look at this battle up front, would you? James Barry's coming, though. He ain't playing. He's up 7 spots, man. He is on a move, on a mission right now.
In 4 laps, he's gone from 10th position on the grid to the cusp of leading as he goes by Chris Souters at turn 1. That's so audacious from James Barry, but is Chris Souters able to hold on for the time being? Barry up the inside again and having to use all the curb, but is he going to be wary of Christian Schutzer, who's a bit further back between these? Round the outside he goes, James Barry at the left-hander of Graham Hill Burns, and he is through at last, I think, unless Souters can hold out the inside. Yeah, he's got that, and Barry's through into second place before Surtees.
Look at this battle, man. This is crazy stuff here. Then you got the Schuster brothers right there. You got Marcus Lang.
And Bruno Vitorino in 7th place, the Brazilian, attempting to go by Alex Schutzer. But now that attempt has dropped him back into the clutches of Simon Edwards as they head through Westfield. Edwards with a better drive coming out of there. Vitorino has to yield this time, and Edwards is through into 7th position at Dingledale.
Look at this with Vitorino, and you got Busan right behind them. They are all just, oh my goodness, this is good stuff here, man. This is some of the best racing we've seen all season.
Woodward continuing to lead the way, but for how long? Surely he's not going to be able to hold off James Barry. Well, he wasn't able to last week at Woodscoggan when he was leading for a period of time.
Oh man, James Barry is so fast in these cars.
He is, but catching's one thing, passing is another. I think Woodward's going to do his utmost to hold him back. He's not going to be able to hold on for the whole race, but I want to see Woodward get his elbows out here instead of just trying to play it safe. Because the thing is, if he lets him go by, that's going to open the door for the field to go on by. I want to see him get his elbows out.
You got Schuster here. Here he comes. Yep. Pushes Chris out wide.
Souters loses 3rd position to Christian Schutzer.
I think he might be in trouble. He's fixing to get freight trained by some of these Germans here.
Yeah, that is Marcus Lang next. I'm amazed that she was able to hold on there. As there's a car off, that's Phil Glover going off at Hawthorns. I hope he avoided the barrier because he went off quite a bit of a way. A little bit of tyre smoke going on there. And Simon Edwards is continuing his recovery drive. 7th position now. 1 position behind Alex. So this is a crucial point in the season where Simon Edwards needs to get by Alex and then go after the leaders.
Yeah, well, all these guys battling up there right in front of him has brought Simon and Busan and Vitorino all up to the rear of this pack now,
And Barry's through. Barry's through past Woodward for the lead on lap number 7. He did it at Paddock Bend. James Barry goes on by. What will Woodward do in response? Because he's got the field on his tail. This is the replay of James Barry going past.
Oh.
And
boy, he just...
There was a little bit of a jink there, wasn't there? But nothing too much.
Like it, right?
I think that's just the nature of the entry to the corner because of the undulation involved. So I'm not going to really diss anyone.
That turn is so... that's the turn I was talking about pre-race there. Over history, there has to be some iconic stuff happen in that turn. I'm not familiar with the track to know, but I guarantee you there's bound to be some history in that turn right there.
Christian on the rear of Woodward for 2nd position. Schutzer on the curb, having to settle in behind, but he wants to be going after James Barry for the lead. So the more he's set behind Woodward, I think Woodward's pulling out, actually. He's not fighting this one.
What happened to Schuster? Alexander?
He's dropped down the field, hasn't he? You're absolutely right. Well spotted, Jim. Yeah, he's down to 9th position. Don't know what's happened.
Let me see if I can find it.
We'll get a replay as to what happened to Alex, but now
he's off track. Hold on. Oh, this is big too, because now Simon's 3 or 4 spots.
No, he had a spin. He had a spin, did Alex Schutzer. He's gone off the circuit at Druids.
Well, whoever the other German car there spun, and he had to go around him out into the gravel. He didn't actually spin, I think. Watch. Let's see. Let's look at it from a chopper view and see. So, see, the other car spins, and he has to go.
That's Marcus Lang.
Deep around him out there in the gravel. But oh my gosh, that is massive as far as the points championship goes, because now Simon Edwards is all the way up in the 4th spot, 3rd spot. He just took 3rd.
Yeah. Passing Woodward over at Hawthorns. Through goes Simon Edwards up into the top 3 places. Boost on having it out also with Chris Soutis for position. And this is great to see. Despite the fact that they're in different cars, they're fighting through the corners tooth and nail. These right-handers of Hawthorns, Westfield and Dingledale. And I think Booston's having to cycle. Oh, that's a huge lock-up. That's a huge lock-up there.
Was that Chris?
No, that's Rob Woodward. It's Rob Woodward
okay.
who's locked up. Yeah, so he's now down to 4th place with Simon Edwards going past him. Marcus Lang after that spin, and which force you can just see that's Suitors coming back at Woodward. Is he going to head on by?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Woodward just doesn't have the pace at all. He just doesn't have the pace to hold these back.
Man, it's, it's like once that kind of stuff starts happening to you, you start getting freight trained like that, man, and you get nervous and you start racing kind of, janky, you're jerking the car around, you're not smooth because you're rattled a little bit. Not saying that's exactly what's happening to him, but, man, it's happened to me so many times like that, I can sympathize or empathize, I should say.
Yeah, Bousson now 4th. A good job from him. Started the race 6th on the grid, but he's now up into 4th position. So the biggest gainers, Steve Webb up from the back to 10th place. This is a great effort from Steve Webb, who's now behind Phil Glover. Alex Schuster is in 8th position after that off. And Bruno Vittorino, who started the race in P11, is up into 6th position, 5 places up from where he started. Webb has passed Glover for 9th.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, this is good run from Steve. Obviously, for those of you that maybe are newer to the series or whatever, he is one of the marshals, race marshals. I think they have a name for that group or club or whatever. But if you want to get up close and personal with racing around the world, go sign up and volunteer or learn to be a marshal. Can't beat it. Talk about close to the action. You could be helping the guys out of the car after they crash. That's how close you can be to the action.
Suits now 5th ahead of Bruno Vittorino.
I love that Trans Am livery. It means nothing to you, I know, but so you need to go watch that movie at some point. It's stupid, but it's funny.
Marcus Lang has made a position at the expense of Patricio Silva.
I don't know. Is Simon catching Schuster here? I'm not sure.
It's 1.1 seconds. I'll compare the lap times actually between Schuster and Edwards on the previous tours. They're virtually identical.
If you look
on
at
the previous tours.
Oh, that's back when we go to Rollins here. So this will be Edwards and Schuster here. Because
it's very, very minimal.
Yeah, they're not. They're pretty quick on, pretty even on pace, I should say.
Schuster's got back through on Rob Woodward. He's now into P7. He's a man on the move right now. I wonder if Steve will get close enough to him before this race is over.
Oh, maybe. He's right there.
Someone kicking up a little bit of gravel further ahead. That is Schuster, who just got by Woodward a moment ago. I don't know how high he's going to end up going. Edwards at the moment, how did he compare in terms of his lap times with Schuster on the previous lap? He was only quicker than him by over a 10th on that previous
overall,
lap.
Though, it just does not seem like he's certainly not gaining. Because when I asked that question and you said at that time he was 1:11 behind, 1.11, and that's virtually exactly where he's at right now. He is definitely not closing, and Alexander is making up ground. He is closing in now on Vittorino, which is going to be another place if he can get it.
Vittorino has got Sutis ahead of him, but Sutis is closer to Bousson in the back of the road. So is it for once that the SR10s have the upper hand here at Brands Hatch, despite the fact that with all these corners, the straights aren't as long as a lot of the other racetracks we go to? Or does it come down to the fact that how much knowledge and how much experience these drivers in the SR10s have?
I really do think that is the majority of it here. I mean, they seem to be relatively balanced. You're getting 8s passing 10s and 10s passing 8s. I just think it's, who's getting around this track the best, I think they've done a really good job at match. I love this series. I know I say it every single time I broadcast it. I just love the fact that they have got these two cars running together. To me, it's just so cool. We'll battle back further back here for what you got us for 12th, 13th, and 14th here.
Where is this Pilgrim's drop that these are at? That's Marcus Lang, I believe, who's on the tail of Kevin Harwood.
No, Lang's back here. This is Lang here, yeah.
Yeah, my apologies. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's Lang running in 15th behind Kevin Harwood.
That was
Treacle going past Williams.
Yeah.
He's going past Williams, and Vosper's got by as well. So Williams loses 2 positions in a blink of an eye. And, well, he's going to have to do his utmost to get those back if he can. Steve Webb is now half a second, or just over. He's just lost ground, actually, to Woodward. He's made a mistake at the last corner.
Yes, he just had an incident just
now.
now.
That's a shame for Steve Webb. He didn't need that at this stage.
Commentator curse team, you got him.
Well, I'm sure he'll get back on Phil Glover.
He's still struggling, yeah.
Yeah, he's just... I don't know if his tyres have given up already.
Well, this has got to be a rhythm circuit. You know, if you get out of your rhythm here, I would imagine it'd be very difficult to, it just seems like this is the kind of track that you have to get into a rhythm going around. Look at this here. Alex is he is caught up to Bruno here, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is he is.
It is Bruno Vitorino. Yeah, you're right. It's Vitorino versus Schutzer for 6th place. Zoutis, I have to say, he's surprised me this evening.
He's having a good run. He's been fast. I'm not real familiar with him. I don't know that he's raced in too many races that I've done this season. I've missed a few this season for different reasons, but yeah, he's having a good run. I mean, Alex is no joke, man. That dude's fast.
Stefan Millis has had a round to forget because now he's got damage to his car. It wouldn't surprise me if he went back to pit lane and called it a night. It's been that sort of evening, unfortunately, for the Belgian. Heinz Braun has gone back ahead of Kevin Harwood for position. He had that spin into the gravel, if you remember, at Sterling's, which cost him big time. There we see Schutzer and Vitorino nose the tail for 6th spot. That was a better drive off the corner from the SR8, and he's going to go by the SR10 for position. So Schutzer shoots himself up the order into 6th place. Is Chris Zoutis the next driver? He's going to be heading on by before the end. We shall see.
He's minimizing the damage of Simon being ahead of him. Every spot he gains is helping that cause, and Simon is definitely not closing on Christian. So
this will be a very hard race for sure for Simon to really close in on Schutzer. He won't be able to do anything about James Barry, who's just absolutely eclipsed everything today.
Yeah, he's this is, like I said, this is vintage James Barry today. This is what I remember, like when I started watching Radicals, man. He was just the fastest guy out there.
And Barry is 4 seconds ahead of Christian Schutzer. And looking at the championship standings coming into this one, Christian Schutzer was 20 points off Simon Edwards at the beginning of the night. But that is Vosper going past Williams for position to P11. It's not going to make a massive difference. I mean, Heinz Braun's had a round to forget overall, I would say. He's not going to be able to close in. So, I don't know, because Alex has had 2...
What?
Williams go back through on
I guess Vosberg must have a little lock up there or something. A little slide or wiggle or something, because, Williams, that's Williams in front of him, right? Yes.
Yeah, it's Rob Williams ahead of Towers Vosberg. And then we've got Treacle and Lang. Yeah, he's letting him go. Look, here is Treacle. He lets Lang go, so he knows that's not really his race. Lang is just fighting to pick up scraps at the moment.
Let's go back up here. Yes, Simon is losing ground to Christian.
4 laps away from the end of this now.
Alex is doing here. Alex is closing. He's got Chris in his sights here. That's something he certainly can do in 4 laps, I think. Well, 3 laps now.
Well, Alex isn't too far away from making his way up the order. He is on the tail of Sutis, but he is running out of opportunities to make this work. Can he get by Sutis and Buson before this race is over? I will say, I think over the course
to make in 3 laps.
I think in terms of how this round has gone for both Schutzke and Edwards, I mean, Schutzke finished second in the first race, Edwards finishing in P7. Wait, did Schutzke finish? Yeah, no, sorry, he finished third, sorry. Schutzke finished third in race. No, I was right. Alex finished second in the first race, and Simon Edwards finished in fourth.
Fourth, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm struggling to come to terms as to who has had the better round. It feels to me like Edwards, I would say slightly, but only ever so slightly.
I mean, and if Schuster makes up one more spot, then he's going to end up really points-wise going to have the better night. Well, no, they should be about equal. Well, the points for both these races are equal, right?
They're different because sprint races have a slightly different point system feature.
Okay, so Simon might score a couple extra points since he's further ahead in this race. Let me go back. This is heating up back here. Look at these 3, would you?
That is Marcus Lang going through on Rob Williams at Paddock Hill Bend. He's now up into 12th place. Steve Webb is ahead of Phil Glover, so that you know. And that is Tobias Schugel's going through on Williams at Druids. The point system for the sprints.
Yeah.
I feel. Oh no, they are. They are equally weighted.
Okay.
So, so you were right, Jim. I thought the point systems would be different.
Yeah, I think that's the other radical series that we do here on the JPB network. But man, I tell you what, I thought for sure that Alex was going to end up getting by, certainly Chris and possibly Mike Buson as well. But I'm not so sure now, man. Chris has been strong. That is quite an impressive run to stay ahead of Alex. That's very impressive.
Jamesbury on course for the fastest point of the race. It's unlikely that anyone's going to be taking that away from him. He's over 5 seconds clear. With only a couple of laps remaining here at Brands Hatch, the second and final race of tonight in the Radical Race Series. This is Sutis and Schuster. Schuster passes him. That looked too generous, that, from Sutis. He didn't even fight that heading through Graham Hill Bend.
Yeah, he didn't. I'm not going to say he gave it to him, but I think he realized the position was gone, and he probably didn't want to put his great finishing position in jeopardy. You make a mistake there, you take yourself out, you take both of you out, which would be even worse. So now can he catch and pass Buson?
He's only got a lap and a half to do it.
Who is Simon Edwards' teammate, by the way?
Well, we shall see.
Or at least, no, they're not. Never mind. They're not teammates.
I was going to say, Buson's the only red line driver in the field.
No, I was going to say, don't mind me.
1 lap to go then. The white flag's already away for Jamesbury, who's on his way to making it 2 wins from 2 this evening.
I'm going to stay with this battle right here just because of the points implications if it happens, and we'll cut to James when he gets a little closer to the finish line there.
Oh, that's a lock up from Chris Sutis, who nearly ran into Alex Schuster at Druids. Got the car just about slowed down, but that is more time lost, and he's got to hope that these two of Buson and Schuster come to blows in some way. Marcus Lang has got up to 11th position past Fosberg now. Steve Webb is on the tail of Rob Woodward, so can he go by him before the checkered flag? We shall see, but here is Schuster to the outside of Buson, entering Hawthorns for the last time. No way through for Alex Schuster, not able to make his way up the order. It could be that he and Simon Edwards are going to end this round on the same number of points for this one alone. So the gap at the top will be the same as what it was before the round had started. But there's Jamesbury out of clearways for the last time. It's the double at Brands Hatch for Jamesbury, who takes the checker flag first. Nearly 6 seconds clear over Christian Schutzker in second place. Simon Edwards makes it to third, and Alex Schutzker misses out on fourth position. That goes to Mike Bousson. Chris Souters with a respectable drive to sixth place under Bruno Vitorino. Now, can Rob Woodward hold on ahead of Steve Webb? Because he's got it down to 2 tenths of Steve, but it's Woodward is going to hold on to 8th. Webb is 9th, and Phil Glover rounds at the top 10 after being on reverse grid pole earlier on. And we've got the likes of Marcus Lang, Towers Vosberg, Heinz Braun, Rob Williams, Kevin Harwood, Tobias Treacle, Graham Matthews, Andreas Lehnen, and Patricio Silva, the remaining drivers to cross over the line. Stiffenmers did rejoin the race, albeit a few laps behind. Oh, that's Treacle spinning, and he's lost positions. So Treacle's race gets even worse. Not the first spin we've seen from him tonight, but he has crossed the line in 18th position to round off. It's been a round to forget.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I tell you what, that was some good racing there, man. That last race was phenomenal.
It was great battling there.
All right, let's see what we're waiting on here.
So at the end of that, it is James Berry who comes away with the final win of tonight, and it's Christian Schutzker in second position, and Simon Edwards was able to complete the podium in third place. Mike Bousson fourth, Alex Schutzker in fifth, and then it's Chris Souters in sixth. Bruno Vitorino in seventh place, and it's Rob Woodward 8th. Steve Webb, a back of the grid ride to 9th. That's a great effort from him, with Phil Glover running out the top 10. Marcus Lang in 11th, off that off he had earlier when Tobias Treacle had spun and he had to take evasive action. Towers Vosberg 12th, and then it is Heinz Braun in 13th. He'll be disappointed with that after spinning into the gravel at Stirling's. Rob Williams in 14th, followed by Kevin Harwood, Graham Matthews, Andreas Lehnen, Tobias Treacle, and Patricio Silva were the remainder of those to finish. Stefan Mills did make it to the end, albeit 4 laps down.
Right. Yeah, that was quite a race there, man. That was really exciting. Boy, Brands Hatch did not disappoint.
It sure did not. And we've got the time now to speak to the man who was on reverse grid pole before converting to a 10th place finish in that last race. Phil, good evening.
Now then, you all right?
Not too bad, thank you. How was that for you here at Brands? We thought it might have been a better circuit for you. How was it from your side in the car in the SR10?
Well, it was a lot of fun. The only thing, I think somebody tapped me on that second race because I lost a load of places. I'm sure somebody pushed me a little bit. But anyway, where did I finish? 10th, I think?
Yep, 10th.
10th in that last race, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 10th places, I think. That's not bad because we've got a big grid nowadays. And I noticed the iRacing rating, the average is about 3.5, 3,600, something like that. So that's about 1,000 more than I'm rated at. So yeah, not bad.
And what about the rest of the season then? We've got Charlotte Roval next. Is that your kind of circuit? Because I'd imagine it's going to be quite twisty for the Brits, I would have thought.
Yeah, I can't really picture it in my brain, actually, to be honest, at the moment. We must run there before, I'm sure. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll take it as it comes.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially a speedway which it cuts through. It's a bit like Daytona, but I think there's more in that particular circuit compared to Daytona. But looking at where you are in the standings following this round, Phil, I have to say you've done rather well to be up where you are, especially in your own class.
Yeah, whereabouts am I in the championship then?
Well, before this round, you were 4th in the SL10s with 311 points, 29 off Vitorino and 24 ahead of Gonzaga. That's before this round.
Okay. I tend not to think of it as a 2 championships, so I think of it as one championship, to be honest, because the balance of the work Simon and George and that do to make the cars very similar means that I kind of view it as, well, whereabouts am I in the whole? You know, if you look at both.
You are 7th. You were 7th overall before today. So.
Okay, well that's good. I'll take that. Yeah, that's good.
You had a better round than.
You all right?
Yeah, good, man. Good to be here. I've been, just been life getting in the way. I've missed a couple of races this season, but I tell you what, that sure was a cracker right there.
Yeah, was it good from you guys watching the guys?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, really exciting.
Fantastic. Well, and we keep getting people on the grid, so that for us, I think that's a real vindication for the standard of racing here. The cars, interestingly enough, pitched together, but also all the work George does tirelessly behind the scenes, and other people, to be honest.
Yes, agreed. Well, I say it every time. I love this series. I love what they're doing, putting these two cars together. I appreciate the work involved. People need to come check this out. This is good stuff right here.
I think one of the nights when you're not commentating, you should make a guest appearance.
Yeah, well, I'd be back there getting lapped by the slow guys, man.
Well, how about this? How about you and James? And then it could be a bit of a grudge match, then, couldn't it?
That would be fun, actually.
Yeah.
I would show up to race James.
Yeah, James probably wouldn't, though, would he?
I don't know. He fancies himself a pretty good driver, so we'll see.
He's too important for that sort of stuff now. We can live and wait.
I missed you, buddy.
Anyway, I'll let you get on with other people, but thanks for the support as always.
All right.
Cheers now.
Talk to you later.
No worries. Well done, Phil.
Cheers. Thank you.
That was Phil Glover at the end. 2 7th place finishes and a little bit of banter, and whilst discussing it with me and Jim. Let's have a word with Steve Webb, who ended his evening on a high. A disappointing end to race number 1, but race 2 was a much better drive coming through the field.
Yeah, race 2, thoroughly enjoyed it, managed to get to grips with it, but what happened in race 1, I was going down Paddock Hill, going up the hill, and wheelbase disconnected. Straight on.
Yeah, that's what Tom said. He thought you had some kind of problem there, the way you just pulled off the circuit and the car wouldn't turn.
No, it wouldn't. Hello, Jim. Sorry.
No, it's good to be here. Good to be back. Yeah,
for a while.
No,
yeah.
I was glad to see you racing this series since so that was good to see you starting to come over here and race this one. I like that.
I've done quite a few. The only thing that I'm struggling with is finding setups for it, because it's an open series, and I cannot find a setup for love nor money. Maybe if I get one. You need
to become friends with Simon and let him give you that setup that he tests with, and then you can tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
But he'll share it with you in a heartbeat. That's just who he is, He'll be glad to share it.
And obviously, I know this track really well because it's my home circuit where I'm marshal at.
Right. That's what I said to Tom. I said he's literally been in every corner in this track.
Yeah, many times, even in race control. So yeah. It is a fun circuit, but it can catch you out quite easily if you're not paying attention. But,
there was some good racing tonight, and good job by you, man. Yeah, that was a heck of a drive in that second race, really, because you came from the back of the pack all the way to finish in the top 10. You're up 11 spots, by far the biggest mover in the race.
Yeah, I was closing down. I just didn't get him on the start-finish line. I just didn't have enough entry pace coming onto through the final corner onto the main straight. I was getting there, and the line approach just a little bit too quick. But all good fun, good fun, and it is a fantastic series. Again, anybody that's listening, get yourselves involved because it is so much fun, and the lads are absolutely brilliant. And then obviously you've got your 2 commentators as well.
Very nice of you,
appreciate the shout out. But hey, congratulations again on a great run tonight, and it's really great to see you getting your feet underneath you in these cars too. It's no joke. These guys that you're racing with here, there's a lot of serious guys in this league, and and you're starting to come into your own with these cars for sure.
Just need to improve on my starts a little bit more.
It's a heck of a lot better than it was the first time around.
Oh, don't remind me of those first 2 races,
good stuff,
please.
Man.
What was it? Exit exit left on the lights out, and
Yeah.
then exit right on the second race, lights
Oh,
out.
that was funny.
Learned a few lessons with it, but yeah, really good fun, really good fun. So thanks, gents. I will pass you over to the other guys because I do have a habit of wittering on a little bit. So
All right, buddy. Good to talk to you
but
again.
it's nice to speak to yourselves. Take care.
You too, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye. Bye.
Steve Webb finishing on a high in that second and final race, 9th position it was. Let's have a word with Simon Edwards, who had a better time of it in the second race. I think it was at the first race where you went down quite a bit, Simon. Can you tell us exactly what happened with that?
No, it was the other way around.
Was it the other way around? Was it race 2?
Yeah, it was race 2.
Yeah, in the
Went
first
backwards,
race, I just suddenly lost the pace from practice, and I was skating around, and I was just surviving. So happy to come home fourth, and I thought, oh, at least I'll get a good starting position. And then I got clipped round in T1, so I had to come from the back. Yeah, but that was good fun. So to get back up to third from about 15th or something, 14th, whatever it was.
It was, I think it was 15th or something like that. We were keeping an eye closely on the lap times between you and Christian Schutzke. Was there more than what you got out there, or did you feel like you got the best out of the machine itself, considering the circumstances?
I could get another couple of tenths, but I was because I'd been skating around in the first race. I put more downforce on the rear of the car. So when I was getting into his draft, I was understeering in the fast corners. So I got more pace, but then I was losing it as I was getting close to him. So it was a little annoying because I kept bouncing off his draft.
it's funny. People don't realize how sensitive these cars are to that air if you when you make just even minor changes. Because I know you didn't add a lot of downforce to the car, and it just makes that much difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty well balanced in practice, and I was doing my best laps that I'd done all week, and then just suddenly the conditions changed. The temperature was the same, and the wind was the same. Something changed. And it just started skating around. I think it was because I'd got a bit more front grip, and it just knocked the balance around. So it's probably rubbered in track or something like that. So it was better balanced in the second race, but it kept shifting to too much understeer.
Charlotte Roval next, Simon.
Yeah, I have no idea how we're going to balance that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky in terms of downforce levels, because I'd imagine maybe setup wise, you would want to try and put more downforce on there, but it's just the, do we call it straightaways, Jim, when it comes to ovals, I suppose,
I mean, yeah, I guess you do, but you know, they don't use quite as much of the oval at Charlotte as they do at Daytona, though. So
give it a go over the weekend. If we have to make it into if say the 10's too powerful, then we might just equalize the points, not make it an endurance, but maybe just make it so that instead of the race position, you make it class position points.
Right.
We'll see.
Anyone want to shout to Simon before we let you go?
I'll give a shout out to Alex. He didn't mean to clip me around in that race, and he did apologize at the end. So I was being really cautious and slow in the first corner because they were all just a big bunch in front of me. So I don't think he was intending to overtake me, but yeah. And I didn't die, and I got back.
No, you made it to the end there, Simon. Anyway, I'll let you get off. Thank you so much for putting on the show tonight, making it back to third place after the falling towards the back of the field. It was a great recovery, and let's see if you can close down the championship gap on Alex Schutzke.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, isn't it?
Well, we shall see this time.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Simon. And now it's time for the man who has completed the double here at Brands Hatch. That is a Mr. James Berry, who is going to take the time for a few minutes to speak to us. James, good evening.
Yeah, hello guys. How are you?
We're okay, thank you. Was it really that easy?
It was easier than most races tend to be. Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised at the pace in the first race because when I joined for the practice before the race, the Shushka brothers had times in the very low 17s, so I thought it was going to be like really difficult. And then in the end, somehow they just lost all their pace in the actual event. And then in the second race, the balance really favoured the car a bit. The straight line speed was there compared to the SR8, so I just got the moves done mostly kind of down the straights and just took my time because I knew I'd be able to get past all of them if I just stayed out of trouble. So yeah, it was quite nice. It was quite fun, very fun to drive.
Very fun to drive indeed. And you don't think you can repeat that here in Charlotte Roval?
I don't know. That's a completely different ball game, and well, depends on it depends on the the BOPs, and it's a completely different track. I love this track. Brands Hatch is probably my favorite in the world to drive. So Charlotte Roval, obviously, completely different. So I have no idea.
So James, I was telling Tom that, when I first joined Radicals, when I raced a couple of Radical races that you were in, and then I started broadcasting. The Radicals was my first series, and today kind of reminded me of the old days, where you would drive through the field and win those races, and I haven't seen you around as much in the past year or so, in the Radicals as you used to be, and it was quite fun watching you, kind of a little bit of a throwback to the days when you would, were running up front there all the time. Every time you turn one of these races on, it was you or Simon,
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to hear you say that. It means a lot, and obviously we're here to put on a good show, and it's really fun to be able to kind of do special things like go from kind of 10th to first, and hopefully it's fun to watch. That's kind of why we're here.
That was a great race. That second race was fantastic. I mean, there was some good battles, and like I said, you charged up through the field, and Simon as well, and it was good.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot.
Anyone want to shout to James before we let you go?
Just shout out everyone on the league, of course, for making these races what they are, and I'll shout out George Gonzaga if he's watching, because he's off taken away with his work, so hopefully he's enjoying the show as well.
Wonderful. James, that has been by far your best round of the season, and best of luck next week at Charlotte Roval.
Yeah, cheers guys, look forward to it. See you there.
See you soon. Thank you very much. Well, Jim, it's been that sort of evening again, and I do say that quite a bit, but this time James Barry came out on top, but that was far from being the whole story, because the amount of battling we saw all the way through there, didn't matter whether it was an SR8 or an SR10. Bearing in mind, from what I've mentioned at the early part of the evening, is that the SR8s had a 60 kilogram balance of performance increase.
Yes. Well, to be honest, they do such a good job that if you weren't paying attention to what car was what, there's a lot of times that you wouldn't even really know, you know what I mean? And that's brilliant for the job that they're doing. And I love the fact that these guys can come drive the car that they prefer, the car they're comfortable in. I think it was, like I said, I say it every time. I think the whole idea is brilliant. I think they did a great job with this. I absolutely love this series.
I do love it as well, and that's why we all enjoy seeing the SR8s and the SR10s do battle. And then guess what? There'll be more to come in 7 days' time at Charlotte Roval. If you enjoyed it so much, thank you so much for listening and watching. And do make sure you like and subscribe, and you won't miss a thing, including the Radical Race Series. And so we'll do battle once again around America at Charlotte Roval. I am Tom Cairns with Jim Cunningham, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical Race Series returns.